Start with the identification tag on the side. Here you'll find the manufacturer, the date it was manufactured, your VIN number, your gross weight, tire sizes and pressures. Below you have tire chart, and in the yellow you have your VIN number and your cargo capacities. Up front is your battery. They're not maintenance free. You may have to add water to them at some point. If you're not going to be using your unit for a while, I would disconnect it. There is a disconnect right next to it. And for winter, I would store it somewhere warm. Underneath is where your spare tire is mounted. There is 2 bolts with nuts on it. The size of the wrench you'll need is 3/4 inch, a deep socket. 2 20-pound propane tanks. Selector in the middle. They have little arrow points to which tank you want to provide the propane. Up front you have a power jack. On and off is for the light, and then you have your up and down. Your breakaway cable here. One thing to note with these is if your battery's hooked up and if you pull this key out, it does activate your brakes. And if it's left like that for an extended period of time, it will drain your battery and will do damage to your brakes. So just kind of make sure that key stays in. In your front compartment, you have a crank for your stabilizer jacks, and there is also a place that you can manually crank your slide in. I'll show you that when we get there. You have your short cord, and you have a plug for your freshwater drain. Show that to you when we get there. Underneath you have your stabilizer jack. There is one on all 4 corners. They're just meant for stabilizing. They're not meant for leveling. You can't lift your camper with them. They're not built that heavy. They'll bend if you try to lift too much weight with them. So just crank them down and put pressure on the ground just so your unit doesn't rock. Your freshwater fill here, and your freshwater drain is right there, and that's where that plug goes. Your slide, underneath your slide, there's 2 arms. Just kind of keep an eye, make sure everything stays clean under here, and everything should work smoothly for you. Behind your slide you have a shower, a hot and cold shower, 30 amp plug-in for your short cord, city water connect. If you're at a campground that has the water provided for you right there, you can just run your garden hose directly into there. So your black sewer tank flush. If you are going to be using your flush, make sure that you have your black tank valve open, or else it'll just fill your tank up and you'll end up with a mess. There's 2 TV cable satellite hookups here. These are inputs. Underneath is your sewer dump. The gray handle's for your gray water, the black is for your black. Another stabilizer jack there. In the back bumper is your sewer hose. Up top there you'll see it just above the window, there's a mount. That's for a backup camera. These units are equipped with pre-equipped with backup camera, all the wiring and stuff. So if you do decide you want to do that later on, you can. It's no problem, very easy. Rear ladder, do recommend to inspect your roof once or twice a year, especially if you have a big storm. Just kind of inspect, make sure you don't have cracked vents, look for ripples, roof, crack sealant, anywhere it might leak. Outside shower, your sink, nice sized fridge, and you have, get the snap off, your grill. And these grills here are made for the 1 pound propane tanks. It's going to have a little thing inside that you just screw on there, and then you can put your propane tank on. Cable TV hookup. This is output. If you want to put a TV out here, this is where you'd hook it up, and it's right next to a power outlet. This is the vent for behind your fridge. All the controls are on the inside, so you don't really need to go in behind there. Intake and exhaust for your furnace. Just note it gets super hot, so don't store anything in front of that. On your wheels, the center cap here pops off. There's grease nipples in behind. You can grease your wheel bearings. It's a good idea to do it once or twice a year, give it a few pumps. If you are planning on doing a lot of miles though, I do recommend getting it repacked of you. Your hot water heater, these are propane and 110 electric. All the controls are on the inside, they're all automatic. Only thing you really need to know here is the plug goes into the drain right there. And that's very important when you go to winterize. You don't want that full for the winter. A couple outside speakers, light, and your exhaust vent for your range above your stove. Your entrance door. Solar panel plug-in. If you ever want to add a solar panel, that's where it plugs into there. And you're back up to your front compartment. You got a table up there, mounted up there. You can use outside. It's plastic. A couple light switches. One for in here, and one for the cap lights front. So that is it for the outside. We'll head in.